Okay, we are live. Hi, good morning.
Hello. Hi, Miss Isa.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Hi, how are you doing this wonderful morning?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you
How's
too?
your weekend going? Well, I'm good, I guess. How's
My
your
weekend is
weekend
just
going?
there. My weekend is
Okay,
just there, honestly. Nothing special going on except for this. This is the only special thing going on in my weekend.
that's good. All right. That's nice. Welcome to our live. I think we have one viewer. So
Thank you so much.
I don't know if we should wait for more people to join. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if we should wait for more people to join or we should just go ahead
Okay, I think maybe we can go ahead. They can join us later,
later.
just
Okay.
so we don't keep
Let
yes.
me okay. Let me just write the right. So okay, let me write the heading for the first story, then we begin.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I think we're going to start now. Sorry for that little delay. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the KNTV show. Now, this is a platform where we share true life experiences of individuals. Okay, Miss Anita, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just think your network was breaking initially. I can hear you now.
Okay, all right. Sorry for that, guys. But hello and welcome to the KNTV show. Now, this is a platform where we share true life experiences of individuals just like you and I. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our show. Now, on today's live, we have, two really emotional and thrilling stories of, true life stories of individuals who cannot come out themselves, to share these stories because of, they don't want to be judged. They give us these stories, we share it to you guys, our audience, and then we hear your opinions about them. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy as usual. I'm sure you are going to be entertained, you are going to learn a lot as well. So, I think without further ado, we're just going to begin with the first story for today. Okay, I don't know, Miss Anita, am I audible still?
You are. You're audible.
Sorry?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, all right, thanks. So, the caption for the first is let me add it to the stage. So, the caption is my wife harasses me whenever I refuse to please her in the bedroom. So that is the caption for the story. Now this is the person writing, like the
Okay.
owner of the story. So he goes, "Good day, know everything blog. A friend of mine recommended that I share my story here so that I can receive a bit of counseling from your audience.
Okay.
Please, I am married to a loving and very supportive wife, and I really love her with all my heart. So, before getting married, we both agreed not to engage in any, you know, that premarital activity before marriage, as it was prohibited in the church we attended. We were very religious, and I loved that we were on the same page regarding almost everything, so we rarely had misunderstandings. This was not until after we got married and we consummated our marriage. After the first night, I noticed that she started acting a bit off. But I just assumed that it was because that was our first time together, as a couple. So it was like she was a bit angry after everything happened, and that did not stop that day. So let me explain a bit before continuing. So this man is just complaining because he was saying that, his wife, before getting married to her, they were always on the same page, they understood each other. And then that was not the case when they got married and consummated their marriage. So, after all their every time he was complaining that every time after they did, the marital activity, she always seemed angry afterwards. Like it was all the time. So in the beginning, that was because that was their first time together. Sorry, because that was their first time together, he just assumed that, oh, that's why she felt that way. All right. So I think we'd continue. So it was like she was a bit angry after everything happened, and that did not stop that day. Every time we spent time together, it was the same thing. She would just start giving me unnecessary attitude. Now, one faithful night, as we were enjoying each other's company in the bedroom, everything started to get heated and we were fully carrying out the activity. And when I was done, I decided to leave and go take a shower. From nowhere, I just saw my wife lunged towards me and she started hitting me. She kept on repeating, "Not today. You don't pleasure me, and you're always after yourself," and also sort of unhinged statements. I was so shocked that night after everything happened, and I could not believe that just happened to me. So ever since that incident happened, we have not said a word to each other. Please, I need some sort of advice. If anyone has been in a similar situation, I will be in the comments. All right. I don't know if I should explain a little bit further. So he was probably saying that, oh, because okay, his wife feels like he doesn't please her in the bedroom. So that is what made her angry. Like, and that accumulation of anger every time they spent time together, it's made her one single time, like one time, she just everything, she let everything loose and then went violent with him. So now he's asking if, anyone has been in a similar situation, and he's probably looking for, he is definitely looking for advice. So if anyone has any sort of advice to give, don't forget to type it in the comments. And if you want us to bring you on the show, you just send us a message, and then the next episode, next episode, will come on the show. And also, Miss Anita, I'm sure you heard the story, right? What do you
I,
think? What's your general outlook about the story?
okay, so first off, in his question, he said, if anyone have been in such situation, right? For
Mhm.
clarity
Situations,
purpose,
yes.
I've never been in such situation and I've never been married. But I think like from the
Mm,
little experience, or from the little experience from people that I know that have been married, I'm just going to, give my own take on this. So first of all, what I'm going to say is that no matter the case in life, like no matter whatever happens, violence should never be an option,
exactly,
because
exactly.
violence can lead to a lot of things. Like it could make the situation worse than it already is, you know. It could lead
Mm-hmm,
to, somebody ending up, you know.
mm-hmm,
So like
mm-hmm.
violence causes a lot of things. And that is why as humans we should also try to like, I don't know, build ourselves in such a way that we can be in charge of our emotions, control how we feel at all times. And because if you can control how okay, no, it's not that you can control how you feel, because feelings can come, but you can definitely
Mm,
control how you like react to those things. You understand? Which is number one, controlling our mouth, not saying things when we are angry. So for this particular situation that we are talking about right now, all I'm going to say to this man is, if you did not retaliate to that woman, you handled it well. Like, if when she was hitting you, you did not lay your fingers at her, then you handled that very well. Because I know how it can kill men's ego when they are being challenged, and they are not able to like do something. So for you to like not lay your hands on her, even when she was hitting you and all of that, you handle that so well. So I'm commending you for that. And then what you're going to do next is, if you think you both need like, I think you both need a therapist, you know, where you can just pour
yes.
out your mind. Your wife will say what led her to that, because I don't think it's just about the bedroom activity that is making her react this way. Probably there are other little
Yeah.
things that you're doing, but that's the only meaningful thing that she can lay hands on. That is why she's um using that as like a general, what's it called? A general, I don't know the word to use, but she just picking that as like a point to fight you. You
Mm,
understand? Because we
yeah.
women have like, we let our emotions go over us a lot of times,
Mm,
you know. So I think maybe there are little things you might have been doing prior to this time
yeah.
that is making her, react this way. So, but she cannot just, it's not when you keep the toothbrush in a wrong place, she cannot tell you, oh, baby, stop keeping this toothbrush here. Or maybe when you use the pot and you don't wash it, she cannot be complaining for those little things, you know. So, this is the only meaningful thing that she knows, that if she tells anybody that, oh, bedroom activity, my husband is not, doing it well, everybody will be like, yes, let's crucify the man, let's crucify the man. Do you understand what I mean? So,
Mm.
I think there
Yes.
are other little things that your wife is not saying to you. So I think you both need to see a therapist. If you can't see like, or if you don't have money to see a therapist, you can meet an older person, somebody that has more
Mm,
experience in the marital life. That's in your family, because it's not every situation, it's not every challenge that you go through that, you can easily tell somebody that is not your family member. Just like, you had to like be anonymous on this, and we are helping you put it out. So I think all you have to do is try to see somebody older than you, either your mom, your dad, or her mom or her dad. If any of those persons are still, alive, you can just meet them, try to explain the situation to them, tell them that this is what you've been going through in your marriage, and this is what it has led to, that your wife had to go to the extent of, coming physical, which you like, you don't see like it's something she should have done. So I think
mhm,
from there
mhm.
you can get like, an advice from them. But this is my own personal advice, you understand? So
Yeah.
thank you, Miss.
Thank you so much, Miss Anita. So I like deeply resonated with a lot of things that you said. You said something about, seeking advice, asking for like counseling or therapy,
Yeah,
anyone. To be very honest, I think that all of this just boils down to communication.
yeah,
In
yeah,
every single thing, like in every single relationship, whether friendship or boyfriend and girlfriend or whatnot. They're like the main. If you guys do not communicate well, then I feel like there a lot of problems are going to hatch. You know,
Yeah.
in the story, the guy was saying that he did not really have a lot of misunderstandings with the lady before, prior to marriage, and they were on the same page on a lot of things. But maybe did he? Okay, is it just that he brought up an idea, or he brought up a particular thing and she just agreed with it. They did not necessarily communicate about the
Mm-hmm.
stuff. They did not necessarily communicate about it. That's why he felt like, oh, they're always on the same page. Maybe she's just agreeing with him for peace to reign, right?
Exactly.
And then, like you said, everything combined together after marriage, and that thing just made her spark and really angry. But
Yeah.
then, Miss Anita, also you can look at it from another perspective. Maybe the
Yeah.
wife is just so frustrated. She is
Yeah.
really frustrated because, like, you're not, you know, people are really sensitive about these kind of things, or the bedroom activity, especially
Yeah.
married couples, because if I don't, if I don't get it from my spouse, if I don't get it the way that I want from my spouse, it is not like, where am I going, especially somebody that is actually really loyal, where am I
Yeah.
going to go and get it? No,
Nowhere.
like, you need to give me what I want. So maybe it's just the frustration that keeps on, because he said that she kept on getting angrier and angrier after every
Exactly.
single time. She would just give him unnecessary attitudes and things like that. Maybe he was just after himself, after himself. Okay, after just
Right.
let me put myself and just go. So maybe that was what made her really angry. But then being angry does not mean that you should resort to violence in that kind of in that kind of situation. It doesn't really
Yeah.
make sense for you to be angry, because the best thing that you could have done is just communicate. Just say, hey,
Say
look,
it out.
see this, like, you need to understand that, oh, this is a two-way thing. So you can't just up and leave after you're done and stuff like that. It doesn't
Yeah.
really make a lot of sense. But then,
It doesn't even
yeah,
feel
for
like
your
you're romantic, like, you know.
exactly,
It's just
exactly.
like
It
you're paying
doesn't.
and that's the only thing you want. So when you're done, you just, this is your wife.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Maybe she just felt some type of way. She just felt she probably just did not she did not feel appreciated. She did not feel valued. You know,
Yeah.
especially something as sensitive as that. And
Yes.
also, you know, he said, oh, they had agreements before marriage, like they were never disagreeing before marriage. I
Yeah.
just feel like in this situation, she couldn't say anything to him. She just kept agreeing with whatever he wanted. So that was why he felt like, oh, there was no disagreement and stuff like that. And then when it came to something as serious as that, she could not express herself, like she could not
Yes.
communicate anymore, because it just turned out to be um, a
Which is why we
issue.
must always, like, communicate whenever something is wrong.
Exactly,
You understand?
exactly,
Communication builds, like, it helps to break every barrier or whatever that can come later. Because the
exactly,
moment you fail to communicate in the first, or the early days, it's breed like it will now start bringing hate in your heart. You start
mm-hmm,
grooming that hate in
mm-hmm,
your heart because you were not able
yeah,
to speak up at the first
yes,
incident. You just
mm-hmm,
see yourself packaging those things together until the day you will now
yes,
have to
mm-hmm,
burst out,
mm-hmm,
which is going to be like bad. So it's better
yeah,
for everything, like for every problem you face, or when something is not going the way you want it to go,
mm-hmm,
is like it's an easy thing. Like, just say it out. Be polite about it. Hi,
exactly,
maybe this is
exactly,
what I don't like that you're doing.
mm-hmm,
Something that is as small as that can solve a very big problem for you people.
mm-hmm,
But if you keep,
mm-hmm.
saying, oh no, shoving it down, no, no, I don't want to say, I don't want to say, that's when you will now see yourself hating your partner, which is now like what leads to
Exactly,
like divorce,
exactly,
violence in the home. Not how will you even stay in a house and you're not talking to your partner, like, for you're keeping
yes.
malice. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't,
That's supposed to be
honestly.
like your number one friend in every,
Mhm.
because when you guys were making your oaths in whether the mosque or the church that you went to tie your
Yeah.
knots, you made promise to each other that even in sickness and in health, right, you're going to be there for
Exactly.
each other. So
Exactly.
why is it that you will not make quarrel be like the bridge between your love? So I don't think it makes sense.
Mm.
Communication is key, actually. Communication
Honestly,
is
it
key.
really is. Like, mhm. So we have
Okay, I think
a comment from Miss
right.
Precious.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, she said, yes, manner of approach matters. Yeah. I feel like in this case, yes, manner of approach really matters because this after everything, okay, her outburst and stuff like that, she
Yeah.
just she did not open her mouth to talk. She just used violence, and that's not the best option, in this
That's
kind of
not at all.
situation. To be very honest,
Mm-mm.
it is very, it doesn't um it doesn't make a lot of sense to use violence to communicate. But then, like I said, maybe she never really knew how to communicate with him, even in the
Mm-hmm.
first place. So that was why they kept having this problem, and she did not know how to begin to even start, telling him, "Oh, this is how I feel. This is how," because she's probably used to agreeing with him on everything.
And
So
Mrs.
yeah,
There's something I usually say, right? Like
yeah,
I used to say something that men are like babies, You
hmm
have to teach them. You understand? Like you
exactly,
have to teach a man some
exactly,
things, not like all everything, but I think a
everything.
man
Yeah,
learns from when you like tell him. Oh, some men don't know how to just do these things naturally. So maybe he was waiting for the
hmm
time when you be like, baby, I don't like this thing. He will not take notes.
exactly.
You will think they are not taking notes, but for every little thing you say, a man is
Hmm.
learning from it. You understand?
Yeah,
So when you tell him, baby, I don't like this thing you did, next time he will try to, if it's somebody that really has like your best interest at heart, he will try to
mm,
correct that thing so he doesn't hurt you.
yeah,
It's only a
yeah,
man that maybe just want to have like a fling with you that will not like take note of what you're
mm-hmm.
saying. But any man that
Yeah,
sees you like a potential partner or a partner will
mm,
always try to learn things from you, like try to understand you,
exactly.
So I
Hmm.
think what she should have done, just like we said the whole time, is communicate this thing no matter how. Like try to paint it, you know, try to like put it in a very calm way. Baby, I don't like the way you do it. That man who wants to listen to you. You don't have to go physical with
Exactly.
him and start, no, 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 no.
Hmm.
That's just where she actually, because even if you
Mm,
take this thing
it
to
does.
like a court of law or something now,
Mhm.
you're
He's
going to
at
also be
fault.
faulted. Yes, because you laid hands on him. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, at the end of the story, he was saying that, okay, he needed advice from people that, if anybody was in this kind of situation, if
Yeah.
anybody, yeah, and he just basically needs advice. So, Miss Anita, what kind of, advice do you think you can give, even though you've never really been in this kind of situation, but then from the
Yeah.
general outlook of the situation?
Okay, so my advice to him is going to be seek therapy, first of all. But if you can't
Yeah.
afford therapy at this point, then like I said earlier, try to speak to an older person, you know. Then if you don't want to like explore these options,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't want to explore these options, what you also have to do is try to, since I think since she's like she has shown you what she doesn't find funny, you should just look
Mm-hmm.
for a perfect time, try to create, if it's a little sweet thing for her, like maybe a dinner setting, just try to do something that when she sees like will melt her heart. You understand, you're her husband, so you know
Mm-hmm.
how to like get her. You're the best person to like say when she's angry and when she's happy. So try to look for a way to just pet her in one way or the other, and you guys should have like an open communication. Tell her that, baby, this is a safe space. You can tell me everything I've been doing to you that you don't like. You understand? And then I think from there you
Exactly.
guys can work things out. But the fact when people are keeping malice, I think that's a no-no, because you're making it get
Mm-hmm.
worse. Like you're putting more hate in her
Yes.
for you. So you're the man, you're a husband. Women also love to be babied. So just, try to pet her, try to find a good time that you guys can. It mustn't lead to like the next bedroom activity. No. You can just have
Mm-hmm.
like a special romantic moment, and you know, both of you will just pour out your heart, tell her to speak, that you whatever she says, you're not going to hold it against her, you know. So I think when she's able to say that to you, I think you both will be fine in time.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we have a comment from Specials as well. They want to be taught how you really want them to treat you.
Exactly.
Okay, yes, exactly. That really makes a lot of sense. Like you said, like men are babies. You don't necessarily need to teach them anything, everything, but
Yeah.
like you need to teach them a lot. And generally, self, like if we're looking at common sense, we're
Mm.
human beings. You don't necessarily know everything about the person. So I think
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
actually need to open your mouth and talk and say, oh, these are the things I like. These are the
Yeah.
these are the things that I don't like.
Yeah.
So that's just like it's generally common sense. And that how we kept emphasizing on communication. I
Yeah.
feel like it's a very important thing in this aspect, especially a marital relationship between husband and wife.
Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Omta is saying, how are you guys doing? We're doing
Yeah.
amazing.
Fine. You. Mhm.
How are you too? So I think we've come to the end of this first story.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go right to the second story that we have for today. Um, okay. So let me just write the okay. So um so the caption for the other story is how my wife framed me just to protect her family's dirty secrets. Now the story is, hello, please keep my identity hidden. I'm writing this with a heavy heart because I know I had been betrayed by the only person that I could call my own, my wife. Like how managed? My wife and I met when I had nothing, and when we decided to tie the knot, her father promised to keep us afloat by hiring me in his company before I could find something very stable for myself. Omo, I was very happy. But unfortunately, that was the biggest mistake I could ever make because her father was one of those silent billionaires. Wealth that moves things in this country without anyone knowing who signed the paper. And all my gra made me succumb to all his whims and wishes. And somehow he liked me, trusted me, even started showing me parts of his business like I was his own blood. That's the kind of man he was. And that's what ruined me the most when everything came crashing down. It started small with all the suspicion and side comments. Then her siblings suddenly stopped inviting us for family events. Her father became cold. And then I asked her what was going on, but she said that I was overthinking everything. Until one evening, when I came back home and met a letter on our center table, she had moved out. She took some clothes, her documents, and so I left. So I called her, but she did not answer. Then the real storm hit. As if I was a thief that was finally caught, her family filed a petition. They said I had fraudulently diverted millions from one of her father's business accounts, and that I used fake documents, forged signatures, and opened secret accounts in my name. They even presented evidence, and the scariest part is everything looked legit. So I was arrested. That week was the longest week of my life. I slept on cold floors, ate from nylon bags, and listened to men who didn't know me call me a thief loud, confidently, like they had proof. I kept asking myself, how did I get here? But deep down, a small voice kept whispering something uglier. What if she did this? I didn't want to believe it. I kept hoping there was some misunderstanding until I got out and found a trail that my own wife had worked with her elder brothers. They had planted the evidence, falsified the transfers, and used my access to her father's company against me. When I confronted her later, she looked me in the eyes and said, I had to protect what's mine. That sentence still rings in my ears. Now, this is not a story I tell for sympathy. I'm telling it because someone out there needs to understand that betrayal doesn't always come with warning signs. Sometimes the same mouth that says I love you in the morning can say he stole from us in the afternoon. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you loved deeply? Share your story in the comments. Your voice might be the one someone else needs to hear today. Okay. That is the second story that we have for today. No, so before I go ahead and say anything, so Miss Anita, please, the floor is yours. It's like you have a lot to say.
Hey, oh my god. I felt his pain when he said, the same mouth that said, I love you in the morning can say, you stole from us in
Mm-hmm.
the evening. Like, oh my
Yes.
god. There is one popular content creator that used to say, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you know this guy that they call Gege. When he sometimes when he's talking, you'll be like, poor man picking. This thing just goes down to the fact that being like um being in a particular, let's say, I will not say poor, but being in a particular financial status can actually, you know, lead you to some kind of situations that you're not supposed to be in. Like, this man just, his only crime now was the fact that she knew that he wasn't having much before they got married.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's take for instance that this man was packaging himself, like let's say he was pretending to her. How would she feel?
Exactly.
But this
Exactly.
man came like
She has
plain
done
to
the same
you.
thing.
Mm-hmm. He came plain to you, and you knew everything about him, and now you're trying to use it against him, against somebody you call your
Mhm.
husband. No, like,
Husband,
is
exactly.
actually, is too much. Like, I don't know, but the woman did not try in this particular situation. She did not try. But I'm going to
At
like
all.
judge this thing from both ends. Let's say
Mm.
maybe her, I don't know if we can blame her father for this. You know, I don't know if you can blame her
Mm.
father for this, because it's possible that her father wasn't like, giving her, will I say, her father was not acknowledging her presence
Yes.
in his life, like, trying to show her things about his business and all
Mm.
of that. And she's now feeling like, oh, all of a sudden I brought someone home,
Mm.
and my father is now trying to, show him everything that concerns him, everything we've worked for as a family. He's now trying to like hand over the
Exactly.
thing to him. So I can also understand the woman if she's coming from that point. But if she's not coming from that point, then I don't know why you would frame your husband like, two of you are now one.
Exactly.
Like, I can
Mm-hmm.
understand that those were your, or those are your siblings, but you and your husband have now tied the knot, so you are now one. So I think your husband should now even come first, even before your, your sibling. So why will you
Exactly.
arrange at your husband's back to frame him up, something can land him in life imprisonment,
Hmm.
and you had the mind to do this? Like, I think she doesn't want this marriage anymore. Like he said, she has packed her bags
Mm,
and she has left the house, which is, which is understandable, because for somebody that can do this thing, then I don't think you want to still live with this
yeah,
person in the house. Like, you've shown your true colors, so that's why you had to like pack your bag and leave. It's actually very unfair. Like, it's unfair for the
it's
man,
unfair.
you know. The fact that they even said his father-in-law liked him, like, and all of a sudden he now went cold on him. Only God knows how much they framed him. Only God knows what they, like, told the man that, no, 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 it's too much. Like, it's too much. But this is life, so whatever
Honestly,
he's like, he'll be fine.
it's really, and there are betrayal comes in different forms because, oh, if I'm being betrayed by my friend, okay, I understand that, okay, this is just somebody that I just friendship.
Yeah,
Being betrayed by my boyfriend, I understand that, oh, we've not really had something so
exactly.
tight.
Yeah.
But then I I made an oath to spend the rest of my life with someone. And then the next thing I'm realizing is that this person is framing me for trying to, like, be a good husband, because in this case he was just trying to make ends meet by even accepting her father's
Exactly. You get,
offer.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is really not fair on the guy, because he's just trying to, provide for his wife. And
Mm-hmm.
so that leads me to even ask the question that, did she even love him in the first place if she could
I
do
don't think
something
so.
to him this fast in their marriage? If something like that was, hurting you, that, oh, if your father was, being all cool, like bringing in a stranger
Mm-hmm.
closer to his business and things like that, don't you think that, oh, if you cannot talk to him about it, don't you think that maybe he felt like, oh, this person has a very good capability of handling the business a way that
Yeah.
it would keep the business afloat for a
Mm-hmm.
long period of time, and you
Mm-hmm.
guys might probably not have that tendency. That's why I'm bringing him closer. So maybe that's why he's showing him the business, or probably he's just showing him the business, not to even give him everything, but then for him to be
Okay.
part of it, because
Sorry
maybe,
about that, guys. I think, okay, she's back.
oh, sorry, I didn't even realize the network went off.
All right, Mrs. A.
So, like I was saying, they don't know, like, they don't know why the father was drawing him closer to him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was because he's reliable, like he
Yeah.
knows what's, like, he's good. That was why he
Yeah.
was even showing him
Inshallah.
part of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. So I felt like it was, maybe she even got married. All the marriage and everything was just a setup, just so that they could eventually execute their plans,
Mm-hmm.
the plan that they made maybe since, or something like that, because it just doesn't make sense. This is someone that
Yeah.
you claim that you love, and with blink of an eye, you just like switched, and you do not think twice of doing this to that person. So it doesn't make a lot of sense. And so we have a comment from Precious Bright, and the woman is definitely cheating, or has a man manipulating things. Yeah, definitely. Yes, I genuinely believe with this. I genuinely believe this because yeah, the man manipulating things is probably her brothers that we worked and connived together to put everything in place. But then for her to not feel anything and just do that out of the blue without, then she probably most definitely has someone that she's seeing. Because how? It doesn't really make sense to do this to someone that you call your husband. But then either ways, I don't know if we can. I don't think, we like looking at things from, two perspectives, and we like weighing things
That's it.
from, two, this thing. But then in this case, we've not heard her story, right? But still, it doesn't warrant you to do something like this to anyone, to be honest. Is that if there's something that you need to air out with your father, and then definitely you can go ahead and meet him and tell him, okay, I would have wanted to be in this position. I want you to put me in the business. I want you to put me through. I want you to tell me like things about the business. And then if he's willing to, he will. If he is not willing to, then it's not a it's not like it's not a must. You have to understand that, oh, sometimes in life you just have to take no for an answer and then you move on. That's not the end of the world. He's not showing you the business because he feels like there's something that this person has that you guys don't possess. And there's something that maybe he has to that would, bring more, um will generally benefit the business. Okay, sorry, Miss Anita, your mic is muted, I think.
Okay. I was saying, I was just going to say, like, maybe he has something that can bring more value to the family. So,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And that is something to even be proud about because, okay,
mm-hmm.
this is your husband and he's doing this
Is your
thing to
husband. Like,
bring value to the business. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
So I don't see any reason to frame somebody. But then, betrayal comes in different shades and colors,
Mm-hmm.
and even numbers.
And
So
most times
so
it's
you
even
cannot.
from the person you least expect. So,
Yes, exactly. And that's the one
that's
that
what hurts
hurts
about,
most.
yes, that's
Hmm.
the most hurtful part about betrayal.
The
Like,
one
it
that,
can come from somebody you least expect. But then this is life, so you have to
yes.
train yourself for anything, you know. The man,
Mm-hmm.
that you're a man. I know, yes, it's not like we should say men should not cry or whatever. No. Even as a man, you're allowed to feel, when you're hurt
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. But this is life, so you have to like brace yourself for whatever comes, you know. Um there's one song that you say, nobody's promised tomorrow. So like
Yeah.
tomorrow can be good, it can be bad, so
Mm-hmm.
nothing is promised that you're going to, oh, tomorrow so you just have to train yourself for whatever comes. It can come the next minute, it can come tomorrow, it can come. Just brace yourself up. The worst that can happen is that
Mm-hmm.
the worst that can happen to anybody is that
Mm-hmm.
you, but as far as you're alive, brace yourself for whatever
Yeah,
comes. So that's why we are humans.
honestly. So, Miss Anita, to round up the show, what advice do you think you can give the person in this situation, the man that shared his story?
Oh my god. It's really going to be hard for somebody that is not in his shoes to actually, or that have not been
Yeah,
in his shoes to actually give an advice to
exactly.
him. But what I'm going to say is, from his story, I think he's a good person. Like, he sounds like a good
Mm-hmm.
person. So, and I know that a good person has like a good heart. So please, first of all, I want you to, I don't know where this is going to lead you to. I don't know if it's going to lead you to being in prison or whatever, which I don't think is going to escalate to. Like, I'm just praying it doesn't escalate. Since you found out the truth that this is somebody framed you up, so you can as well report that to the police. So what I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
say is, first of all, forgive your wife. She did a lot, but please, for your own peace and sanity, forgive her. Then you can take this matter, you can take the evidence of you finding out that, oh, this is like, they framed you up and everything. Take it to the police station, you know and try to see how you can sort that out legally. Don't try to confront her. Don't
Exactly.
try to say anything to her. Don't try to start arguing with her, because it can lead to something else. So all you have to do is follow this case legally, clear your name, and forgive her and move on. I don't think you guys have any kids, right? He didn't mention that they've had kids together, right,
Yes,
sister?
yes,
So that's the
yes.
best thing. Since there is nothing that's going to connect you guys after now, when you sort out this thing legally, just move on, because somebody that can do this to you can one day. So you don't need that person in your life, you know. Just try
Yes.
to forgive her for you're not forgiving her because she deserves the forgiveness. You're forgiving her because you
Mhm.
want to move on, because you want to bring
Mhm.
peace to yourself. You understand? So forgive her, um look for a way to clear your name legally and move on with your life. There is no big deal.
Exactly. Exactly. Honestly, that's like I really feel the same way. You don't necessarily need to go and find a way to get her back. Revenge
Mm-hmm.
is always like it's not the best option
Brutal.
in any
Mm-hmm.
kind of situation. So, just move on. I know it might be really difficult because yeah, we cannot, like you said, Miss Anita, we can't give advice because we are not even remotely close. We don't
Yeah.
remotely know what it felt like.
Yeah.
So, just move on with your life. And then I'm not trying to say, oh, you picked the wrong partner because oh, she obviously hid behind a mask or something. But
Yeah.
then probably next time if you need to like be more vigilant and things like that. Yeah, obviously this situation has taught you a lot that there's more there's a lot more beyond what is just in the outer whatever. You don't necessarily know what somebody is hiding in their
Yeah.
mind. So just open your eyes and look for a really nice person, look for a good person, look for somebody that I don't want to say
Miss
don't look
Sister,
for a rich person, but
Miss
since you
Sister.
had this kind of
Okay. I think her network is. Okay, I think
okay,
she's
yeah,
back.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I was saying I was going to say something. I was discussing with my friend yesterday, and I told her that um one
Okay.
thing I think can actually make me, or can make somebody conclude that okay, this is somebody I want to spend the rest of my life with is try. It's not about like being lovey-dovey. Try to see what that person is capable of doing when they are angry. You
Mm-hmm.
know, let's say you're
Yes.
with somebody, you're cutting with this person, even if the whole thing is going. I'm not saying you should trigger them or you should like do something that will make them react or overreact, but sometimes it's good to know how your partner would react if something goes wrong. That's what will show you if you can live with this person for the rest of your life. You understand? Because if we're going to be truthful to ourselves, it's not going to be rosy all the time. You get right? Okay, I think Miss Isa is frozen. So guys, that's just basically.
Okay.
Okay, I think you were frozen before, but I can see you now.
Okay. All right. All right then. So I think with that said, we've come to the end of the show.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we have one more comment. Sorry. Let me just show the comments before we leave.
Actually, moving on will lead him to the worst person. You should just start before going into another.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Honestly, no, that makes a lot of sense as actually.
It's scary, oh. It's actually scary. Like
Mhm.
you don't know if the next person you're meeting would be worse or better.
Exactly.
Like
The word.
that's
Mm-hmm.
why they say life is a risk. Oh, just take it
It
as it
is.
comes.
It really
That's
is.
why I said earlier that you should brace yourself for whatever comes. So that it's not
Mm-hmm.
when it comes you not be
Yes.
like I can't. No, brace up. Whatever comes, you take it. That's why we are living.
Honestly. So thank you so much, Miss Anita, for your time. Thank you so much for being here today. It was amazing having you on this show. It's always amazing having you on this show.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you to our beautiful viewers who, took their time to engage on our YouTube live and also, kept the place lively. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you guys. Once again, this is the KNTV show where we share true life experiences of individuals just like you and I. I remain your host, Isa Amamata, and the beautiful lady with me here is Miss Anita Michael.
Thank you.
So thank you guys, and we will catch you again Saturday next week, same time, same venue. So don't forget to turn on your post notifications and also follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. So thank you so much and have a nice weekend. Bye.
Mm.